So, what's the real difference between a good leader and a true game changer? Today, we're going to dive into how a few incredible global strategists used their vision to do more than just lead. They completely reshaped entire industries and economies.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Real leadership isn't about maintaining the status quo. It's about seeing what could be better and then making it happen. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You can't rewrite the standard if nobody knows who you are. Your vision needs a voice. It needs a platform. And that leads us to the heart of the problem. What happens when brilliant leaders are the industry's best-kept secrets? Well, the cost is absolutely staggering. It's like there's an invisible tax on your potential. You lose opportunities, you lose influence, you lose impact, all because your work stays in the shadows.
So let's be really clear about this. Making your achievements known isn't about ego, it's not vanity. It is an economic imperative. It's essential for growth, for influence, and for making a real lasting impact. And we're about to look at 4 women who proved this beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, first up, let's talk about what can only be called an institutional renaissance. Now, we're not just talking about small, incremental changes here. We're talking about how a single leader's vision can ignite the complete rebirth of an entire organization.
So meet Isabel Masika. And yeah, we're calling her the 3,000% growth architect for a very, very good reason. Her story is a masterclass in how a leader can become this proactive, unstoppable force for change.
I want you to just let that number sink in for a second. 3,000%. That's the level of growth in membership and finances she delivered as president of the Institute of Marketing in Malawi. That's not improvement, folks. That is a total and complete transformation.
So how on earth do you pull that off? You become an architect of authority. By championing a landmark bill, she literally rewrote the rules for her whole industry. By leading a huge rebrand for a national telecom, she reshaped how the public saw them. Then she founded her own firm to scale that impact even wider. You see, every single move was a deliberate step toward building visible, undeniable influence. Now our next impact takes this whole idea even further. So we've seen how to transform an institution, but what about turning simple conversations into massive movements, mobilizing thousands of people to rally behind one powerful cause? This is where Njatiana Radohari Rina from Madagascar comes in. She's living proof that leadership isn't just about having ideas. It's about building sustainable, large-scale movements that create real, tangible change right there on the ground.
And the scale we're talking about is just immense. Her work has directly impacted the lives of more than 2 million vulnerable people, many in some of the most remote places you can imagine. This is exactly what happens when a powerful, strategic vision meets flawless execution.
Her strategy here was just brilliant. Instead of 45 different youth organizations all shouting separately, she co-founded ICA to unite them into one powerful voice. And she's not just talking about change at global conferences. She is on the ground, organizing it, championing things like clean water on a massive scale. Okay, for our third impact, we're shifting gears a little. We're going to focus on disrupting an entire industry. But this story is backed by some incredible personal resilience. It's really about engineering new possibilities when all the odds are stacked against you.
The story of Phyllis Boazi Mangaludi starts with a profound challenge. At just 14 years old, she became a mother. Now, in a world where that could have defined her entire life, her entire future, she made a different choice. She decided to rewrite her own story completely.
And that rewrite led her right here. I mean, what a powerful contrast. From a personal setback that could have ended everything, she rose to become a true visionary in technology and business, building enterprises ready for the stock exchange. And these achievements, they are the literal building blocks of her authority. A 24-year career in telecom. That's deep expertise. Being the first woman to lead a project like that in Yemen, that shows unbelievable resilience. And then co-founding an award-winning IT firm, that's pure vision. This isn't just a career path, it's a statement. All right, that brings us to our fourth and final impact. And this is really the climax of the whole story. This is where strategic visibility reaches its absolute peak, conquering international markets. Let me introduce you to Thokozani Onyolo. She's a strategist whose influence isn't local, it's not even regional, it is truly cross-continental. And that title, 17-Nation Strategist, tells you everything you need to know about the sheer scale of her work. 17.
Her strategic genius has transformed brands and ignited growth across 17 different nations. We're talking Africa, the UK, the UAE. That, right there, is the very definition of global impact.
And what's wild is her success isn't just in one sector. Look at the diversity here. Aviation, finance, telecom, tech. Her strategic mind transcends industries, and she consistently drives growth wherever she goes. She doesn't just enter a market, she revitalizes it. And she shatters a few ceilings along the way, like becoming the first woman ever to be named Marketer of the Year.
You know, this quote from Thokozani just perfectly captures the spirit of all four of these leaders. Their visibility, their wins, they're not just for themselves, they're creating a roadmap, a blueprint for the next generation of leaders to come. So, if there's one crucial thing to take away from these incredible stories, it's this. Authority and influence are not accidents. They don't just happen, they are the direct result of deliberate, strategic, and very visible actions. They are built by design.
And this brings everything right back to you. The evidence is all here. So the question we want to leave you with isn't about if you need visibility anymore. We're past that. It's about how. How will you take these lessons and begin to design and command your own authority?
Look, if you're serious about building an institutional legacy that's going to last, it is time to take that next step. It's time to future-proof your brand and finally secure your seat at the table. Partnering with IRC is how you begin that journey.